What up, Raider Radio? God damn it, that's the name of this podcast, not the people listening to it. Raider Nation. That was a brain fart and a great way to start the episode. I'm Mike.
Can we just restart it, or
No, it's because then I have to press the pause button and go through all that.
all right? Well, this is Raider Radio.
No one is perfect, Will. All right.
We're Mike and Will. You're not Raider Radio. you're at YouTube listening to us. So we went out on the road against the Indianapolis Colts and came away with a win that nobody probably expected us to get. Us included.
Okay, so like when we were looking at the schedule in the first 4 weeks of the season, this was the second most winnable game. It became a lot more winnable after Luck retired, obviously. But did I expect us to take this game last week? Absolutely not. I thought it would have been a close game, which it was, but I thought we'd come out with the L.
Okay, and the reason why we didn't think that it was going to be a win last week was because
We suck.
We
but-
played so poorly.
I mean, the Vikings were a better team, for sure, than the Colts, right? Actually, I don't know, actually. I mean, the NFL is like, it's all based on matchups, right? So it's a lot of people have too impulsive reactions.
Too impulsive.
That's a word.
Impulsive.
Of reactions to where it's like, well, one team does great one week and it's like, oh my God, all of a sudden they're Super Bowl contenders. Next week they lay an egg and it's like, oh, well, they're the worst team in the league. But I mean, the Vikings are a talented team. The Colts are a talented team. The Vikings just drew up a game plan to beat us. And I guess yesterday, probably our defense kept us in the game.
Mm. Well, my thing, the Colts really kept us in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, you're right.
And that's kind of why for me, I don't know if necessarily I feel any differently about this team after that win. I'm glad we got the win, but I mean the Colts, one of the least penalized teams in the league. They were having laundry thrown on the field left and right.
Yeah, uncharacteristic. They just like an off week, I guess.
Yeah, I mean they had drops left and right. We were spotted a touchdown in the fourth quarter from Jacoby Brissett when he threw that pick six. So it's one of those things where we beat the team in front of us. They were injured. They were without T.Y. Hilton, without Malik Hooker and Darius
Malik
Leonard.
Prostitute.
Yeah,
I was going to make a joke, and then you...
Yeah, I just slipped it in there because I knew that you were trying to make a bad joke.
Trying to head me off with the pass.
But, you got to play the team in front of you. It's not our fault that the Colts were both shorthanded and made mistakes.
Can we say, though, that the Colts beat themselves, but at least we didn't beat ourselves, right? Because silver lining here.
Didn't we have like over 10 penalties? We tried really hard.
Yeah, I mean, they beat themselves worse than we beat ourselves.
My takeaway from this game, and I know everybody wants to celebrate, and I feel bad for being that guy.
Well, you're always that guy. So.
Yeah, I'm always that guy. Is that I want to celebrate a win where we look like a good team. We did not look like a good team last week.
Well, we have to rewind the tape to 2016 if we want to do that.
Yeah, but
like these days, you got to take your wins when you get them.
But don't you agree? We did not look like a good team yesterday.
No, we didn't look like a great team. We looked like an okay team who hung in there. I mean, kind of the same story. We get off to a hot start in the first two quarters. The third quarter was rough, and then we just barely kept our head above water in the fourth. And of course, Eric Harris. With that pick six, sealed the game-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
And then we gave up an ugly touchdown after that because I don't know if the bravado or whatever got to them.
That's pretty much my takeaway from this game. Mm-hmm. It's like we would do something well.
Yeah.
And then...
immediately fuck it up.
Yeah, and then just play like shit afterwards.
Yeah.
And then the Colts really just couldn't catch up because they were making mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did jump out to an early lead. The first two touchdown passes by Carr were great passes. It looked like they were good drives. But then, I mean, that second touchdown came like a minute into the second quarter, and then we did nothing for 3 quarters afterwards.
Yeah.
And so it was, and then the Eric Harris pick six
Okay,
in the fourth
but
quarter.
listen,
Like this is the thing that bothers me about this team is that I can't even get too excited about it because Eric Harris with that pick six for a touchdown, and then the very next drive the Colts abuse Eric Harris on a long on a deep bomb for a touchdown. It's like I can't even pat you on the back because you got us 6 points and then you gave them 6 points.
Well, maybe he's feeling a little cocky, but my point is, listen, he made that pick, he did it. So you got to give him credit for winning us the game. It's because what's essentially happened. And you got to credit this team for coming away with the W. At the end of the day,
it's a rough environment.
A W is is on your schedule now, and no one's going to remember how it happened. You're just going to remember that you won the game. You know what I mean?
We will.
I will
remember how it happened.
If I could have a team stumble and bumble all their way to the playoffs, I would take that.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. So I would rather us look good and progress and get better.
Well, that's not going to happen either. I'll tell you right now.
I mean, so if I'm seeing similar issues and we get a win, it's like, yeah, awesome. We got a win, and you need wins, and you need to get wins and also get better. So maybe we can talk about the way that we did get better. I'm not trying to say we didn't get better at all, but I just still saw so many problems with this team. I mean, we could probably start with the defense.
Yeah.
Right? The defense looked at a surface level better.
Well, I think we need to shout out one player in particular who looked hot tonight, and it's Mad Max.
Oh, Max Crosby. Yeah.
One X away from a porn star.
Didn't you use that last week?
Yeah, I gotta come up with like a cooler way to say it.
Or just not say it at all.
No, I'm gonna say it anyway.
Maybe. But yeah, so last week when we talked about how the season's probably not going to be a good season, we would want at the very least to see progression from our young defensive guys.
Correct.
And so that was the biggest takeaway from this game for me is that Arden Key should probably be benched. Max Crosby is earning himself some significant playing time.
Yep.
And he looks like he can be an impact player for
us. Yeah, maybe a piece for the future.
Yeah. I mean, there's potential there. Obviously, he's got to improve his game and improve his consistency.
It's a young season, but we've probably seen more out of Max Crosby as a prospect than Arden Key in the last year and a half. Or a year and change. Yeah, and a quarter. Arden Key still looks like just a crazy person running around the field with like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah, I would.
He's
probably
in on
agree.
the plays, but he just can't finish. You know what I mean?
He's got a lack of awareness. In my opinion.
So it's a mental thing, probably, would you say? Or is it like a physical thing? Because I
don't think it's a physical thing anymore.
I see him in on the plays, like like a step away from putting pressure. Or if he does get pressure, he's running around in circles around the quarterback, letting the quarterback escape. It's like I'm very low on him now. It's almost time to be like, he was supposed to be a third down situational pass rusher, wasn't he? When we on paper when we came into this season.
Yeah. I mean, his career is not over. He's in his second season.
No,
he's got room to develop, but
he's still got potential.
Max Crosby needs more time.
At a certain point, you need to just produce. Yeah. And now Crosby, in the short time, it looks like the production is is there.
The next player that really improved and played a lot better, which kind of warrants a sigh of relief, is LaMarcus Joyner, because I was really low on him the past 3 weeks.
Yes, you were.
And finally, he's earning his paycheck even a little bit.
He had a clutch ass pass defended, didn't he? He had his hand in there.
Yeah, he almost got an interception on that one play. But he was flying around the field and he was all around the ball. My personal opinion is that considering what our safety position is right now and what we've gotten from LaMarcus Joyner out of the nickel slot, I know that LaMarcus Joyner is coming off of a better game. I think LaMarcus Joyner should be playing safety for us. Like after Abram went down, like he's being abused and taken advantage of out of the slot. I would probably move him to safety. I mean, that's where the Rams used him. And
do what he's good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not trying to say he's not a decent nickel corner.
But from what we've seen the first 3 weeks before this week, he was getting beat up a lot.
Yeah. And if we're being honest, the Colts wide receiver group without T.Y. Hilton is kind of mediocre.
Probably
at best.
probably a big reason why we won, honestly, because there was no deep threat there.
Yeah.
I don't think Jacoby Brissett's the kind of quarterback to air it out often, but I mean,
And T.Y. Hilton's the type of guy who'd go in the slot and burn you down the middle of the field. From
he
the
would
slot.
he would get open midfield. Yeah.
So I mean that definitely helps Marcus Joyner in some sense.
For sure, they didn't. Yeah.
So,
I mean, Eric Ebron was probably the most talented receiver we had to deal with, right?
Yeah. So I like what I saw from him and the improvement, but I also think that considering our defensive back situation and how piss poor our safeties are.
Cole Joseph had a good game.
He did have a better game.
Yeah.
He did have a better game. I mean, it wasn't hard to have a better game than the Vikings game.
Well, yeah.
Every defensive back on our entire team played like trash for the Vikings game.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but everybody did have a bounce back game on the defensive back.
Conley too.
Yeah, Conley was in there on a couple plays. Worley played decent as well.
Yeah.
So that's promising because it looked like a complete and utter reclamation project a week before.
Well, nothing helps reclamate like playing a bad team. So, not that the Colts, they're not a bad team, but missing some key pieces.
They had injuries, and the way that roster is built, offensive line and like a run first team, kind of similar to us in that regard. A couple of injuries is really going to
change the entire playbook.
Yeah, change the ceiling for what they're capable of.
Absolutely.
So, just an easier team to match up against for John Gruden's Dink and Dunk 2003 offense.
The Dink and Duck, yeah.
Yeah.
So while we're on defense, we have to talk about the domestic abuse elephant in the room. Burfict.
Vontaze Burfict.
Gone for the season.
Suspended for a year.
So what did you think of the hit? The hit at the play itself.
It's a clear penalty. I mean, the guy had his knee down. All you needed to do was touch him with two hands. It was 2-hand touch at that point.
But why touch him with two hands when you can bash him over the head with your head? Is my question.
That's a valid point.
I state my case.
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
I object.
The Raider in me.
He was like, beat him like while he's down, like the UFC shit.
Yeah,
like
can rationalize.
Wait till the referee separates you.
Drop the elbow.
Yeah.
So, it's obviously a penalty. I think that the 1 year suspension is kind of a lot.
It's context though, right? So this is the NFL probably think they probably have no choice. Because look who this dude is. Look at his history. If this was anyone else, it'd be probably 2 games at the most, right?
Yeah. So my thing is, I don't think that it's going to really change the trajectory of this defense this year. Vontaze Burfict was important.
I don't know about that, dude.
No, but the thing is, we were going to be bad no matter what.
Yeah,
we were going to be bad.
I agree, but now we're going to be worse. We were thin at linebacker to begin with.
Oh, it sucks.
And especially the guy who's probably the biggest brain on the defense. I mean, it's. I agree. We were going to suck to begin with, but now it's just a fucking. We were like a match away from a dumpster fire, and they just let that match.
Yeah, I mean, he was our defensive captain, but it's just we can deal with this. It's not losing Derek Carr. It's not even losing one of our offensive linemen. It's
Really? So you'd rather have him gone than Gabe Jackson?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's just our best chance at competing is going to be if the offense can do anything. I know that the defense is bad. Like I know that like a middle linebacker is not going to help our defensive backs getting burned 40 yards downfield.
No.
It's just, and that's going to happen regardless of whether Vontaze Burfict is on the field.
Well,
or not.
Of course, the narrative going into the season is this team is only going to be as good as Derek Carr is good.
Yeah.
And we're only going to succeed as far as he succeeds. So obviously, it's not a nail in the coffin, but I think this is big.
But I did want to say something about the whole like concussion thing and just head injuries and the way the game is being called in general.
Okay.
Because this topic is one that really pisses me off.
Ooh, here we go. So buckle up.
The reason why is because the only people in this situation that are negatively affected, or the people that are most negatively affected by all of this, is the fans.
Yep.
And the reason why is because the NFL is in a precarious situation.
A procrastinating situation.
Where they play the most physical and violent sport out there, right next to UFC.
The closest simulation to war.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, like it's dangerous. It's violent, right?
Yeah.
Out of almost any American sport, and it's the only one out of any of the leagues where the contracts aren't worth the paper that they're written on. Mm-hmm. Once you get put the guaranteed money aside, a guy gets banged in the head and he can't get up and think straight for the rest of his life. Well, you just fucking cut him and you move on. He's a piece on a chessboard.
Well,
but it's an actual human being.
The average NFL career only lasts 3 years anyway, so it's not like these guys,
Yeah, so I sympathize with the players who are putting their body on the line. But my take on it is this: is that we're essentially getting a watered down version of football, because the owners of the league don't want to give up a penny anywhere. And they don't want to actually honor the contracts that these guys are signing. And it's why they have these holdouts. It's why they have all of this fucking off-field drama when it comes to these players not reporting to practice and everything like that. It's why the concussions are an issue. It's why you have players like Calvin Johnson retiring because they really don't care about the players. They're not going to guarantee the contracts. And so what they would rather do is just start doing shit like this, where you're going to just suspend players and just take them out of the game. And it's like we didn't go to see fucking, the backup linebacker. We're there to see Vontaze Burfict, grown-ass man, knock bodies around. Like, that's what football is. So, in my opinion, as a player, you accept the possibility of what can happen to you when you get on that field. But at the same time, the NFL owners have to pony up and fucking pay these guys and guarantee these guys contracts, because they're putting their life on the line. None of that's going to happen. We're just going to get them to call the games way softer. They're going to be an echo of what they used to be. You go back and you look at older football games, older Raider games. You look at Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum wouldn't have lasted more than 2 years in this league. Would have been suspended. So now they're just removing players from the game arbitrarily. There's no precedent for this. This is the first time it's ever happened, and we just get a worse product because of it. And they're fine with it, because they're doing it under the guise that they care about the players. They don't fucking care about the players. And so that's just my little rant about this. It really pisses me off, because the game barely looks like the game that I fell in love with. And am I defending Vontaze Burfict? Absolutely not. But this is just more like a rant on the concussion topic, where I don't think the players have a leg to stand on until you start bringing the owners into it, and the way that they're running this league right now. I think it's a horrible league.
Well, yeah, I think this is probably a deeper topic. I agree with you. The people in power just want to maintain or increase power, and they're not going to make any changes, because it's all about the bottom line at the end of the day. And yes, the game is suffering for it, and we as the fans are suffering for that.
And they don't care. They know. They know the product on the field.
Yeah,
is worse.
It's about the bottom line.
But they don't care.
Yeah,
they would rather football look worse than pay to make it look good.
Yes, because it's about making money.
Exactly.
I still think we'd get. It's a violent game, so I still think we'd get players like Calvin Johnson retiring early, because just for their own personal, they don't want to end up in as a vegetable by the time they're 40, and I get that. Yes, no, the game is. I heard stories even like players like Bill Romanowski, like, at the bottom of the pile, he's fucking just breaking dudes' fingers and stuff like that. And that was the game for its entire history until this like modern era. And that game is that's ancient history. But no, it's different now, and it's the spirit of the game has suffered. the the aesthetic is the rough and tumble aesthetic is taken out of the game. Like, you see that old 70s footage of guys just fucking plowing into each other. It's not that game anymore. Now it's a very
defense doesn't even.
Defense, dude. It's so hard to play defense now.
What is the role of defense on the field?
It's so hard. I mean, again, like it's almost not an exaggeration where you breathe on the quarterback, roughing the passer, and you get it's a 20-yard gain, and it changes the entire outcome of the game. I don't care what people say. Oh, you need to play for 4 quarters. It changes the outcome of the game. It does, and you get these zebras making really like determining games, and that's not the way it's supposed to be, but that's reality.
It's like arbitrary.
Yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason to any of the calls whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many examples you can point out. Even the Rams and Saints last year, that was robbery. And because I feel it too as Raider fans. I grew when I was 12 years old when the tuck rule was when that play, and so I grew up with just a disdain for referees and probably authority in general. That's probably when I started listening to punk music, because I hate people who make decisions you can't argue with. But no, so the game has suffered.
But fans suffer.
Everyone has suffered, but the owners who are making the money. I don't know. You know what I mean? Even the players. But I don't know.
I mean, when a play happens, and like you mentioned before the podcast, you have to stop before you have to hold yourself back from celebrating and wait 20 seconds to see if laundry comes onto the field.
This is the only sport where something amazing happens and you have to hold your breath. Hold 10 seconds. Did that actually happen? No other sport, like when a baseball player hits a home run, like, oh shit, home run, celebrate. But in football, it takes away from the moment as a fan of the joyous, euphoric celebration. It dampens a little bit, and
And it's really because there's no competition.
What do you mean?
There's no alternative to this product, so they can do whatever they want.
Well, I love the AAF.
That's the thing.
Looking forward to the XFL.
That AAF football league, the week one on Twitter, that one hit to the quarterback, which wasn't flagged.
He literally got decapitated.
His helmet literally came off. Everybody's retweeting it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited about it, and this is what people want to see. Mm-hmm. So, pony up, pay whatever you have to pay, so that these guys will go on the field and not bitch if they get their head wrung. But we both know that's not a reality. And with the players' union, the way it is, and the players' union are a bunch of pussies already.
Okay, but I mean,
because look at. They already don't have guaranteed contracts. The NBA has them. MLB has them. So the union is what they're going to do. They're going to come and they're going to take a hard stance the next collective bargaining period, and then they're just going to do what they always do. The owners are going to pass them a couple of extra bucks in terms of salary cap, which will go to the top 10% players. And then the dudes that are getting their fucking head beat around in practice, who are going to have CTE for the rest of their lives and get cut, have no medical insurance, fuck those guys. Because that's what the NFL is right now. The top 10% guys get a couple of extra bucks every time the CBA comes out, and nothing changes. And the NFL owners love it, because the players' union sucks.
Yeah, that's true. If there's one sport that you need that deserves guaranteed contracts, it's the NFL. But we both know that's not going to happen. Unfortunately.
It's not. It's not. The players are going to be like, yeah, just let us smoke weed. We'll be good.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
The marijuana league.
Yeah, they'll go in there, fully guaranteed contracts. And the NFL owner's like, want to smoke weed? Deal. So that's my little rant on it. I know it's a Raider podcast, and it's tangentially related.
It's football, dude.
It's somewhat related. It's somewhat related to the Vontaze thing. Even though I think that Vontaze definitely deserved some sort of disciplinary action.
I think you and me are both football fans, and this is just it's our game. You know what I mean?
And it just sucks because in a perfect world, Vontaze is handed a 15-yard flag, rightfully so, and then you just move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody, if anything were to happen to the guy has health insurance and he has a guaranteed contract, and none of this is an issue. But the NFL owners are greedy Scrooge McDucks, and they don't care about these human beings that are on the field, and they want to pretend that they care. So they're going to suspend Vontez Burfict for a year. They don't really fucking care. Because suspending Vontez Burfict is not going to stop people from getting their head wrong. And,
I mean, to play devil's advocate, you play that this guy is the. I mean, just throwing it out there. This guy is like, with his history and context of the hit.
He's a symptom, not the illness, though. I'm not defending Vontez.
What is
Vontez Burfict?
But I mean, the illness is like, these guys
having a fucking car bumper on your head.
Yeah, but these
those helmets don't actually protect
these
you.
Guys
at all.
these guys are trained to like be fucking warriors down there in the trenches. Like you got to fucking hit guys. You got to bring them down. You're grown up in this like alpha male mentality that like it's you or the other guy, and it's I mean that's the psychology behind it is
it's the sport. It's definitely the sport.
Yeah.
Like it's inevitable. Vontez Burfict is a dirty player. We knew that going into it. We knew the risk around it. I'm not defending him. He deserves a suspension. The 1-year suspension. Don't know how I feel about it.
I feel dicked over as a Raider fan, but because we've gotten so unlucky in all of our what do you call it, like our bets, you know what I mean? Like Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant last year, Burfict this year. What do you call it? Like the risks, like the risk or reward kind of players.
Yeah, the gambles.
We're 0 at the fucking casino right now. You know what I mean?
Hey, we still got Incognito, so hold it out.
Yeah.
That's our last chip.
Incognito's like, whoa, these crazy people are going down around me.
What's wrong with everybody?
Weirdo.
So you're trying to cut off my dead father's head.
Weirdos, bunch of weirdos.
But moving on to the offense, what was your take on what you saw from both I guess just in general, Derek Carr and the play calling, John Gruden's?
Honestly, more of the same. Like I said, we got off to a hot start, right? We had those 2 touchdown drives, and Carr didn't have a bad game. He looked okay, right? Didn't play like a world beater. Didn't lose us the game though. But I loved Josh Jacobs. Obviously, he had a couple great runs, and he's a bruiser, just bulldozing through guys. Darren Waller is tied for all time with Antonio Gates with catches through 4 games.
It's kind of a lot more of the same. Nothing surprised us about this offensive performance.
Some of the play calls were questionable on Gruden's part.
Both good and bad.
Yes.
I don't think that there was anything surprising.
I agree.
So
we just outlasted the other team.
Like Derek Carr did nothing that you were like, wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing. There was nothing. Oh, we didn't think that Derek Carr was capable of this anymore.
It was probably 2 plays that really. 2 lucky plays that won us the game, which was the Eric Harris interception, obviously, and the what's his name? I forget his name. Who made the 70-yard run?
Trevor Davis.
Yeah, on that like that.
Yeah, which was it was a run.
It was like it was like a jet sweep, right?
Yeah,
and then he turned it around.
Yeah, it was like a little end around, and
which was a lucky play. That should not have gone 70 yards.
Yeah, but that's why you run those plays, because sometimes
they do. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So I don't want to completely detract from everything good that we've done. But Derek Carr had like 180, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. The second touchdown came a minute into the second quarter, and then his play, just kind of fell off of a cliff for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He had 2 almost interceptions. One where he almost threw it directly to the guy, and the other one where he threw it into double coverage to Tyrell Williams down the field. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've been asking the guy to throw it down deep, throw it deep for 3 weeks now, and it's like, don't throw it into double coverage.
What are you doing?
If you got like man to man on the outside on call an audible to a hot route, like a streak downfield, and do like a jump ball, like a 1-on-1 type of situation. Like, he just forced it into a bad window, and if the corners, if the DBs reacted at all, it would have been a pick. Like, we got bailed out by 2 almost interceptions that were basically dropped.
Yeah, again, same story. Some of this was probably on Derek, and some of it was on Gruden. To where like I told you earlier today, like, what the fuck were they thinking? Where it was like, we're up by 1 score, 5 minutes to go in the game, 3rd and 8, and they run the ball. Like, you want to get a first down to ice the game here.
Yeah.
Don't rely, on the next defensive series to get for an Eric Harris interception. You know what I mean? Like, you got to win the game here. And what are you doing?
In terms of overall game tempo and play calling,
the reason I drink.
Like, I saw nothing about John Gruden's game plan that led me to believe it's any different than what happened last week when we were complaining about everything. Sometimes it works.
Yeah. Against teams like this, it works.
Yeah, exactly. A conservative team that doesn't have their top wide receiver.
We're playing the same game. We're both conservative teams just going in there trying to dink and dunk our way to victory.
Yeah. They're all pro linebackers out.
Yeah.
Their
best receiver, their safety. Yeah.
So and then they have a somewhat game manager type quarterback on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
A guy who can make some nice plays, but at the same time, he's not gonna really beat you.
No, he's in the lower third of quarterbacks in the league, I'd say.
So it worked this time.
Hey, a win is a win.
But
a win is a win.
It's still frustrating as all hell, just seeing like these consistent, silly like screen passes and outlet passes that go for nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Or there was one specific. I can't remember exactly when it was, but a series of plays where Josh Jacobs started really getting some momentum, and it was when he did his feed me motion again on the camera, and you saw him saying feed me or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like he had 2 significant gains for chunks yardages, and then like a first down I formation, like you can like guess, like just like there's like a 50% chance that a random ass fan would just be able to guess what we're going to do. And ends up like being like a 2 or 3 yard loss. Mm-hmm. So we're like predictability be damned. Just John Gruden does what John Gruden wants to do. And I just feel I wonder, are we ever going to be an explosive offense with this guy calling the plays? Like what?
Dude, as much as I want to complain about John Gruden, it's also that, like, I know we're stuck with him for the next at least fucking 6 years. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is right now.
You're not going to jet sweep your way to a Super Bowl.
No, you're not.
So the Trevor Davis play is nice, but I want to see. I want to see vertical offense. I want to see some plays.
You don't also have
where you make the defense honest.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to have Josh Jacobs disappear for a major.
But
point.
Just throwing this out there, we also still don't have the vertical attack that would open up a play like the jet sweep. I mean, sometimes you get lucky, like we did last week. But I'm going to throw some Raidio trivia at you right here. Right? Ready?
Wow.
How many receivers have caught a touchdown? Which receivers have caught a touchdown pass from Derek Carr this year so far?
From Derek Carr?
Yeah. How many people have caught a touchdown from him?
Counting tight ends?
Yeah, everyone. How many people have caught a touchdown pass from him this year?
So Tyrell Williams, Foster Moreau obviously caught one. I think didn't like some no-name receiver catch one already? Fucking like Rico Gafford or some shit like that.
I don't know. Uncle Rico.
So
he came on the field and pretended
I would probably say like about 5 different receivers.
Oh, no, it's not that high.
No?
I forget, but only Tyrell Williams is the only receiver to catch a touchdown pass this year, so.
I asked tight ends, you said yes.
Yeah, I should have said no, but you know what? Tyrell Williams is the only receiver to catch a touchdown pass, which is not great. I mean, but who else do we have? J.J. Abrams and, wow, I just said J.J. Abrams.
No, J.J. Nelson. But J.J. Nelson didn't, I don't even think he played.
Star Wars on the brain.
But no, I
Renfro.
don't accept that bullshit argument.
No, I mean, it's going to say, like, we don't have a lot of talent on that end yet. You know what I mean?
Dude, fucking Demarcus Robinson looked like a world beater against us. Who's Demarcus Robinson?
He's no Keelan Doss, I'll tell you that, who caught his first time.
He's a fucking nobody. This is the argument that I have with you. You, like you can sit there, and we've been saying it for 6 years, Derek Carr doesn't have anybody to throw to. All right? Patrick Mahomes had no one to throw to when he played against us. Like, end of story.
Okay,
like,
but there's so much involved in that, too, because it's play calling, and it's offensive line.
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
But it's who the receivers are matched up against, because some secondaries are better than others, so some guys are more able to get open. There's so much. I mean, football is obviously a complicated game. It's a fucking 11-man team doing their job all at once.
So I'll turn that argument on its head and tell you that that's such a weak fucking point you're trying to make. So much more goes into it than we don't have talented enough players. That's bullshit. So you're gonna we do have enough talented players on this team to score touchdowns.
Is this a playoff offense?
No. But we're not anywhere near bottom of the league in terms of talent on the team.
As far as receiving goes, outside of Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs
and Tyra Williams, who's been
who else is there?
Well.
Who else is there?
You have 3 options right there. Then you have Hunter Renfrow, a young slot receiver. I'm not trying to say that
all
the guy's
those.
a world
No
beater.
one else is going deep besides Williams on there though. You know what I mean? Those are all intermediate threats.
J.J. Nelson, Darren Waller,
who's played for one game. Darren Waller's not going deep on most calls. J.J. Nelson has played one game.
Darren Waller can.
He can, but you're not calling that. I mean, we haven't.
But that's my problem with John Gruden.
We haven't seen that.
I mean, look at week 1 where our offense looked its best, and Darren, like first drive, Darren Waller went down the field for like a 20-yard catch, man. Like that's what we need to do. We need to keep the defenses honest. You have to throw outside of that 20
well, I
yards.
completely agree with you. We should be sending Waller deeper because he's got good hands. The man's going to catch the ball. You know,
you have to look at like the routes that are being called. Obviously, I mean, that's my thing. We definitely had a better game on the ground. We ran well.
Yeah, it's on Josh Jacobs more than anyone else. I mean,
yeah. Well, Richard was running decent.
Yeah. Okay.
Decent
Yeah.
as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but yes, you're right. Josh Jacobs is getting you 3 or 4 yards every play that aren't blocked.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. After the tackle or whatever, or after contact.
But I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I think that there's talent on this team. I'm not saying that it's all world talent. I'm saying that it's talent that both the coach and the quarterback should be making better. Like these are guys that
I don't disagree with you.
These are guys that can be a legitimate guy on another team. We need to work with what we have and make what we have work and develop these players and make them better.
Well, I don't disagree with you in principle. I mean, I think that like the coach and the quarterback are capable of making the talent better than they are.
I'm skeptical of that.
I don't know. I think there's a ceiling there. I don't know. Outside of Tyra Williams, I mean, I just think we need someone else. Say like an Antonio Brown type.
I mean, of course, every team. Listen, the Rams are a Super Bowl level team, and they have 3,000+ yard receivers last year. Or I think three 1,400-yard receivers, something like that. It was ridiculous. So I'm not arguing that we're a Super Bowl level talent. I'm just saying we have players, and Derek Carr against a team that didn't have a safety to speak of on the roster because Malik Hooker's out and the other guys are bums. Their defensive backs were banged up as well beyond Malik Hooker. They were without Darius Leonard. I mean, Derek Carr had like 190 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was bad. He should have had twice that.
Yeah. And it's mostly because the play calling and tempo is always fucking dictated towards, all right, we got a couple of points now on the board. Let's just slow things down. Let's just grind out this clock for the rest of the game. You know, we have 3 quarters left to play. You know, let's just completely flip the switch. It's like we're seeing a completely different offense from that original 20 scripted plays that John Gruden prepared for the game.
Yeah.
And then once he's done with those 20 scripted plays,
it's like, oh shit.
We're just gonna hold the ball and check it down.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's frustrating to me when we had 2 touchdowns going into almost 3 quarters of a game left to play, and we didn't do much after that.
Well, let's speaking of that, let's transition to next week against the Bears. Speaking about dink and dunk offenses, do you think we're better off facing, because Mitchell Trubisky got injured this week, although lately the reports are that it's not as bad as it seems, so he maybe play next week. Do you think we're better off playing Trubisky or Chase Daniel at quarterback?
I'm pulling for Trubisky to suit up.
Yeah.
He's a bum.
If anyone's going to throw an interception, it's that guy.
Yeah, Chase Daniel, he might actually be a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky.
He might be. He knows the system better. He's probably a smarter quarterback because he's got more experience. He's not as mobile. He probably doesn't have the arm that Trubisky has.
Yeah, he's just not an idiot like Trubisky.
But
is.
yeah, he's not. Yeah, you want the idiot suiting up. I think.
and we're trash talking Trubisky. He'll suit up and burn us now.
600 yards and 16 touchdowns. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a believer in that.
Are you excited to see our boy again?
Khalil Mack?
Yeah.
I'm always excited to see my guy.
I bet you are.
Oh, dude, I love that guy. I mean, I hope we have a good game plan for him because he's up.
Even when he finds a way to.
He's like the second or third best player in the whole league right now.
I hope he honestly, like, he's about to sack Derek, then he has that, like, the sentiment hits him, and he's like, my brother, I can't, and then he stops in front of him. And
I don't think that's gonna happen.
That'd be like a movie ending. It'd be like how like the movie would end though. Like he can't.
Maybe the movies you watch.
Well, I like movies. I watched The Replacements. I think that's the best football movie ever made. Slight detour.
Good for you.
Keanu Reeves, bro. That was the role he's meant to play.
Trying to use our podcast as a platform for your Rotten Tomatoes career.
I gave it 100% Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm almost one of the professional critics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
solely Keanu Reeves
I'm
movies.
not too optimistic about next week.
No, we're gonna lose. So why would you be?
I almost feel like it's one of those games where it's an amazing defense. It's like the Viking game except worse, because it's a good defense.
Oh, great defense. One of the best.
The Vikings were a good defense. This is an even better defense.
Yes,
but good defense that is going to completely clamp down on this conservative game planning that Gruden does.
What game plan?
Offensive play calling. You know, it's just easy for them. You're playing into their strengths.
You mean where you like score first touchdown, then you pee your pants the whole game and?
Yeah, or just rely on not making mistakes. We go. It almost seems like
not winning the game. It's not fucking it up. Yeah.
You can't win the game if you're not playing to win. You're just playing not to lose.
Yeah.
And that's what our offensive game plan feels like it is a lot most of the time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, the Bears love that type of fucking play style. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're stout up front. They've got a great defensive line, and similar to the Vikings, it's just like a middling offense, like an offense that no one knows what their true identity is, and they might even be bad in some instances, and then we're just gonna make them look good, and we're just gonna give them confidence.
Also, we're playing in London, which is I think the team's flying back to Oakland, right, and then probably going out to London. That's rough for both teams.
It's rough. The only thing I could say is we've been playing internationally for a couple of years now.
Also, I just want to throw out there, what time is that game on? Is that at like fucking East Coast time? That's like 10 a.m. or something?
I thought they fixed this one. So, yeah, this one is actually at 1 p.m.
East Coast time?
Yeah. They used to be at like 10 or 11 a.m.
Oh, God, dude. I mean, it's like you're asking me to start drinking at 9 a.m. Like, are you, like, come on.
Like pulling teeth. Like,
yeah.
You did this, Goodell.
This is your fault.
This is all you.
I hate you, Goodell.
Yeah.
You did this, yeah. But no, we're gonna get our. I think it's not gonna be close. I think we're gonna get our asses handed to us, like 21-10, something like that. I can see.
I mean, if I'm trying to think of ways where, how can it go well? How can it go right? Our defense builds off of this slightly better game against the Colts. And the Bears' offense really isn't that great. So if we can keep it somewhat close, maybe the better quarterback wins, and maybe the better quarterback is Derek Carr. So
that's some big thinking there.
Well, I'm just trying to say, like, if their offense is really, if their offense is bad, if it's not capable, I mean. And say
it's Chicago's defense that always wins some games. So if anyone's going to win them games, it's going to be their defense.
So I mean, if the offense isn't great, and maybe they have some form of jet lag or something like that, then it could kind of play into Gruden's game plan of let's not make errors. There'll be a lot of fucking punts in this game, probably.
Probably.
And just to hope for the ball to bounce your way here and there, like a special teams play, an end around, like
I mean, it's games
a
like
jet sweep.
It's games like this where special teams is super important. If you can get a touchdown there, you put yourself in a position to win.
Maybe Gruden's offense can help him.
You ask too much.
Yeah,
you ask too much.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate here because everyone's probably like, never gonna listen to Raider Radio again. They hate the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't hate the Raiders.
Like to be realistic.
I'm just trying to be a little bit realistic here. I know everyone's flying high off of a victory, but it wasn't that.
But you know what? We deserve to though. I'm gonna throw it out there and play devil's advocate. The devil's advocate. We deserve to fly high. We deserve to feel good after a victory because you know what? We're not going to get many of these. Oh shit! Did I just revert to the first devil's advocate? But you know what? You got to enjoy them while you got it. Is my point.
I don't.
Just fucking be happy. God.
Why? Who enjoys single victories week to week?
Losers.
Yeah.
Right?
Losers. I'm gonna enjoy this while I have it. Nah, fuck that. That's such a pitiful Stockholm syndrome type of thing, where it's like, all right, well, we gotta win, so I'm just gonna not pretend that we're a good team for 1 week. We're not a good team. We're traveling to the other side of the fucking world.
I didn't say that
to play one of the best defenses in the league.
Never said that, but just enjoy the W. You know, you won. You take the game ball and you go out drinking the next night with all your best friends, and you just enjoy the night, and then you get back to depression the day after. Can't we just enjoy this? Like, it's 24 hours later. Can't we just enjoy this?
Tell you what, Mike. We go on a winning streak.
Okay.
I'll be happy. All right.
What is a winning streak to you? 2 games?
2 games. Sure. 2 games.
Ooh.
If we win 2 games back to back this year, I will be happy.
All right. Well, I cannot wait to see that, Will. And I will remind you. I will remind you.
You might wait until 2024.
Even as week 14, I will remind you, and you better wear your fucking happy shirt to that day.
I don't have a happy shirt.
Well, fucking buy one, bro. Because all you wear is black and like you're just depressed all the time.
It's a good color. It works.
It makes my dick look slightly bigger. I didn't say it.
But yeah, I mean, if we string a couple together, then I'll change my tune. But having Eric Ebron drop like 20 fucking passes and the least penalized team in the league get penalized 10 fucking times, I don't.
I'll take my W.
I'm not gonna lie to myself.
I'll take it though.
Yeah, I know you will take it because you're a loser in every single other aspect of your life, and it makes you feel good about yourself.
Well, I feel great right now, so you know what? You're an idiot.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you.
I'm glad you feel happy, and hopefully, against all odds, we will win next week. It's even doubly important because it's the Bears and we have their pick.
Yeah, well, no. In all seriousness, this was it was a win we didn't deserve this week. But I'm happy we got it. We did outplay them for most of the game. We did, and the Colts are a talented team. I don't expect us to win next week in London, just sheerly because of that defense.
We've got the worst month of football ahead of us.
Well, we have the worst probably schedule in the history of football. So
this is the worst month of football that anyone has to play.
I don't disagree. We travel how many fucking miles over the next 8 weeks?
You're going to London to play the Bears. All right. Then you're coming back home. Then you're flying to Green Bay to play.
We have a home game?
No. You're coming back home from.
You mean USA?
Yeah. You're coming back to the USA from London, and then you have to fly back to Green Bay to play the Packers.
It's so fucking cold there.
Yeah. Then you're playing the Texans in Houston.
Yeah.
And then the Lions.
Whoever fucking made the schedule is an asshole. Yeah. I don't know how else to say it.
I mean, October's rough. October.
They probably had like an argument with their kids the night before, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna take it out on some team because my fucking kid hates me, and his kid's probably a Raider fan.
Is that what you think happened?
I think that's definitely what happened.
It's. I mean, I thought going into October 500 was one of the best possible scenarios for this.
Second in the AFC West right now.
Are we really?
We are, yeah.
God damn.
Look at us. Riding high.
Yeah, that's not going to last long. All right. Do you have anything else to say? Do you have anything else to add?
You're an idiot. I don't know.
I am an idiot. Hey, everybody's probably pissed off at me after this episode.
You know, but you be you. You gotta be you.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't lie. I can't lie. That game. I'm happy we got the victory, but at the end of it, I'm just like, you were up big, and then you let it come back the way it was, where it was what, like 2 minutes, what was it, like 5 or 4 minutes left into the game, and we gave them the ball back.
Yeah.
And they needed a touchdown to win.
Yeah,
I think it was actually even like a little over 2 minutes left of the game.
But then that's when Harris got
that's when we got that fluke interception, and it's like, I'm like, this is. How did we let it get to this point again?
Yeah, no, it was again. Yeah, and then we gave up the touchdown, and then
we're riding high because we won, but we were one fucking drive away from.
Also,
oh my god,
they didn't onside. They punted us the ball, right?
Yeah, they fucked up.
So I mean, they fucked up, but that's because they believed that our offense was so inept enough that they would get the ball right back.
Yeah, I mean,
what does that say?
But even then, it was still such a bad call because all you needed was one first down.
Well, no, I agree that they fucked up. I agree. You give your team a chance, but I mean, that's what they. That's the motivation behind that kick is they just believed in their defense and that we would just not get a first down. So
yeah, but anyway, we got a date next week for tea and crumpets bright and early.
Oh no, I didn't set that up at all. But I might stand you up that day. Yeah.
Come on. I was gonna wear my red British soldier garb and everything.
Oh shit!
Civil War reenactment gear.
Are we doing a live episode from London next week? Is that?
No, we're not. But we can role play like we are.
Oh, yeah. So I'll wear my little Bobby hat. You know, like the Queen's Palace Guards.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll talk like this. The hell podcast.
All right, let's end.
Hello.
All right, let's end this episode. This is bad.
How fast does this get annoying?
All right, next week's canceled.
You're canceled. You're canceled. You're canceled. You're canceled.